here from the farm, and as you can tell, it is a windy day. Hopefully I don't lose my hat, but I'm going to do a little garden work, and I thought I'd take you along with me and maybe see what we're working on today, see what our fun is, and probably go visit a couple of the animals too. But let's go explore the garden.
So most of the work today is done in our early Republic garden, which is our lower garden. Time period of this exhibit space would have been late 1700s up to about the Civil War, and mostly today we're just weeding. So again, with our early Republic garden, we have a lot of early species that would have been very much grown with cold weather in mind early in the season, especially May. So like the garlic here, and we've got some onions here. So again, things that can withstand cold anyways, because we're eating the things below the ground, right? Either the roots or the bulbs in the case of the garlic and the onions. The roots, we would be looking at something like our horseradish, which is coming up, and kind of a cool looking early growth of that. And something I very much enjoy is a good horseradish, all kinds of fun things you can do with that. We also want to make sure that we're taking care of our perennials, the things that come up every year without having to replant. So right here's our asparagus, one of my favorite vegetables. And we have some nice rhubarb plants going on here. Again, actually one of my favorites as well. And you can see here it's we're eating the stalks, kind of like celery. These, however, have a very tart taste, great in pies. You can see that wonderful red color of the stalks. Really great plant. Also spent some time here in the herb gardens, which help showcase the medical history of our museum. And most of these are perennial as well, so I'm trying to weed all the grasses out of here. And I had to take a little break as we had a native bumblebee that decided to join me while I was doing some weeding, and I wanted to watch it kind of bounce around. Mostly using this ground ivy, I think it's often called gill on the ground, a non-native, but the bees do like it and certainly are struggling with things for them to have food, especially early in the season. So between some of these early plants, but also making sure that we have lots of native flowering plants for our native pollinators to have plenty of food. But it was just a lot of fun to watch it buzz around, and I'll see if I can let you hear. And I did find a honeybee hanging out in the garden as well on one of our dandelions. We tend to try and leave as many dandelions as we can as well. Again, a non-native, but not necessarily invasive. It doesn't necessarily take over like some other non-native plants do. And a really good early flowering plant for both the honeybees and our native bees to use as food. I got a good amount of grass pulled out of the garden here, and what I'm just trying to do is limit the competition. These plants are trying to use the nutrients in the soil and gather sunlight and use the water, and we want our plants in the garden to be doing that. So pulling these grass, we'll compost this. We can use that for fertilizer. We don't use insecticides or herbicides, so we have to hand pull and then put compost on, and that is a lot of work, but it's very important for us.
All right, everyone, that's our video for the day. I'm gonna head home and rest up. I think some of our animals are taking a rest too. Again, if you are following along on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. My hat's gonna blow away. It's pretty windy still out here. And if you're following on Facebook, you can give us a like so that you can keep up to date with everything happening here at the museum. Hope everyone's well, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.
Well, I think I was pretty correct earlier. I was heading back home towards the parking lot via the Binzac Trail, and everyone looks like they're taking a rest over here. Those goat kids over there are definitely pretty sleepy looking, lying in the sun with Mom. Sadie, our miniature horse, she was laying down. She was running around the big pasture most of the day. She just came over to the museum barn here, but she's going to get up for us, and I figure I'd give her some scratches, give her some attention, although she may be a little bit tuckered out from that big day in the pasture. I think mostly she's just a little disappointed in me that I didn't bring her over anything to eat. But she's very well taken care of here at the farm. She's got her food that she gets, and she had that good green grass out in the pasture all day, so she'll be okay. Good night, everyone, and good night, Remick Farm.